How controversial can I be?
But what you described there is actually, you found a way to do something when there was no other way.
Yeah.
That is FM. I think it shows that nothing's unachievable there.
Yeah. Losing out on something that you really want drives you to be better in a way that winning doesn't.
The route into FM is still very much a trip into it. You almost trip into it and go, wow, how did that happen?
Hello guys, welcome to episode 1 of the Facilities Management Exchange. On this episode we're joined by Wesley Allvey, the Godfather of Facilities Management, Wayne Young, the Conciliary of Facilities Management, and Ella Gladwin, who is a foot soldier of Facilities Management. They're going to share some really interesting topics around how they actually entered the industry. We're going to talk about everything, including AI, and whether or not they're going to kill us all. See you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Facilities Management Exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the first episode of the Facilities Management Exchange. This is going to be a fantastic new facilities and property management podcast that you are all going to absolutely love, not because of me, but because of the fantastic guests that I'm bringing on. So here we are, the first episode. We have Wesley Allvey, the Godfather of FM. How you doing, Wes? You all right?
Yeah, good, you?
I'm all right, mate.
Good.
I'm all right.
Good.
We've got Wayne Young, a Conciliary of FM. How are you, Wayne?
I've never been called that before, but thank you, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's all right, it's all right. And we've got Ella Gladwin, a foot soldier of FM. How you doing, Ellie? All right?
Yeah, very excited.
Yeah. Anybody who's seen The Godfather will get that. Have you seen The Godfather?
No.
You've not seen The Godfather?
No.
Actually,
The film?
have.
No.
How have you not seen The Godfather, Wes?
I had a long career in FM. don't really get to go home much.
Well, that's fair enough. Okay, guys, well, listen, thank you very much for joining us on the first episode of the Facilities Management Exchange, FMX. How's everybody's day been? Good?
Busy.
Busy? What have you been up to, Ella?
I had an interview with Manchester Met, my university, about a success case study. So basically just talking about what I'm doing in the industry and degree apprenticeship, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How did it go?
Good. I mean,
Yeah.
I tend to have a tendency to word vomit, as everybody knows. So,
Yeah.
I don't think I really answered many questions, so that'll probably be the format for this.
Right, okay.
Not really answering the questions that you ask me, but yeah.
No, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
Politician of FM.
The whole purpose of a podcast is just to yap anyway, so you know what I mean? You're in the perfect place.
Fine by me.
Yeah. And Wes, how about yourself? How's your day been?
Yeah, working from home today.
Yeah?
Yeah, late night last night.
All right. What were you out networking?
I was networking.
Networking?
As usual, as I do
Lovely.
most nights, yeah. Dealing with rural households and bits we've got coming on, so yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So busy time for you then at the minute?
Very busy at the minute. Yeah.
Oh, good man. And Wayne, what have you been doing, sir?
Oh, I've been looking around buildings and just travelling down south. Most FM's
Taking
right?
pictures of toilets with my phone.
Oh, You've been looking at my phone again.
I have, mate. I've got a link into it.
Oh, it's you.
It is me, mate. It is me. Oh, well, that's brilliant, guys. Well, listen, obviously the purpose of today's episode, it's the first episode, so really we want to focus on discovering FM. Okay, so what I want to understand is how each of you got into the industry, how you found the industry, and where you see the industry going in the future. That's kind of going to be the crux of it. So, Wes, let's start with you. As the Godfather of FM.
Yep.
He hates that name.
I know, I hate it, yeah. It's a lot to live up to.
No, it is. Well, it's a great name, I think. But tell us about your journey into FM. How did you come into the industry, and why have you stayed in it as well? I think that's quite an important question.
Well, I think mine's going to be the same as most people that I interview over the years. I did fall into FM. Right. Didn't know what FM was when I was offered an FM role because, all that time ago, many years ago, vintage. Yeah. It was FM meant many things. Could mean you worked in a post room, could mean facilities management as we know it now. But I got made redundant in construction. Someone rang me up and said, "Can you come and be an FM?" Yeah. I googled it and then took the job. I said yes.
Well, at least Google was around.
It wasn't that long ago. Yeah, we still had the internet. I'm not that old. But fell into it from there and loved it. Loved every day's different. Dealing with various people, projects, buildings, passion is buildings, and I'm sure everyone's going to say the same.
Yeah.
Love going and seeing new buildings.
Yeah.
Obviously tenants as well.
Yes.
No buildings without tenants.
This is very true. This is very true. What's the most interesting instruction you've ever had in your career? The most interesting building you've ever looked after?
Probably some of the most recent ones, such as 22 Bishopsgate with JLL.
Right.
Obviously,
that's a nice building.
That is a very nice building.
So obviously, wasn't managing it, but worked in and around it. Done a lot of the stuff there and seeing behind the scenes. It's great. Working on some of the royal household stuff now. Windsor Castle.
Well, let me stop you there.
Yeah.
I always ask this question with old buildings.
Yeah.
Any ghosties?
I haven't seen any yet, no, but I'm sure there is.
You've not seen Henry VIII running around? Lock people's heads off?
No.
Just a cleaner with a ghostly figure.
But yeah, the operations of buildings like that with the security, I was in Windsor Castle last week when Donald Trump, the day after Donald Trump came in. And
wow.
Yeah, just seeing the whole operation from new buildings to old buildings and everything in between I've managed over the years.
What's more interesting to you, the newer buildings or the older ones?
I think they both have a charm. Obviously, the older ones are more difficult to maintain and work on and bring up current standards, sustainability, etc. But the new ones, all the modern tech and AI, etc., is also, I love working on that as well. That's why FM is so varied. And that's why people stay in it, just because you can be doing one thing one day and then the next day you're doing something completely different.
Yeah, that is very, very true.
Yeah,
very true. And Ella, what about yourself? Because you're actually one of these weird people that has wanted to be an FM since you were little.
Yeah,
so tell us a bit about that.
There's actually a picture of me that's quite popular within my family and friends of me sat on my dad's laptop.
Yeah.
In front of the keyboard and the computer. So I joke that I've been in the industry for 22 years. But
right. Fair enough.
Yeah, so my parents are both consultants in the industry, so obviously I've grown up listening to BIFM and contract management and all the jargon and all the rubbish like that. I say rubbish, it's not rubbish, but when you're a 9-year-old and you're trying to listen to the drama about what's happening on the school play yard of who hates who, it's like, no, contract management is what we're talking about. So I kind of was exposed to it that way. Right. And then I basically applied for every degree apprenticeship I could find because I've always had a passion for business, and I was like, right, how can I get on a degree apprenticeship? Couldn't get on any of the ones that I wanted to because I failed all the aptitude tests. Right, okay. So I was like, right, okay, I'll go and start my own degree apprenticeship. So I approached the university that I'm at now, Manchester Met, and approached my company that I'm at now, the managing director at the time, Jack Prady, and spoke to him and just said, if I get the university to agree, can I have a degree apprenticeship? So basically created a degree apprenticeship myself.
Oh, fair play. Well done.
Thank you.
That's all right, not bad at all.
You tell me no and I'll find a way to make it work. But
fair play. So was that because you found a route into the industry just so challenging? So it was such a challenge to get, because I know there's a few degree apprenticeships and other bits and pieces around FM, but there isn't a lot. I know that much. And was that the frustration, and that's why you felt you had to go down that road?
Yeah, I mean, I probably shouldn't say this on here, but the truth is, like, I never really wanted to go into FM because I'd grown up. Let me explain.
Oh, hang on a second. What's she doing here?
The end of this interview.
Get her out.
So, no, not invited back. But no, so obviously I'd grown up listening to it, and I just think, it sounds boring, like I'm not interested in it.
Right, okay.
And then, I always knew that I wanted to do something business related, but you go to the career advisors and they say, go into law, go into architecture, dentistry. It's like, I don't want to do any of that.
No, a lot of paperwork as well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like the paperwork. That's the thing, it's a lot of work. So I was like, I'm not really interested in it. And then I was like, right, okay, just try and do my degree apprenticeship for 4 years in FM. Yeah. And everyone keeps asking me, when you come out of the industry, when you come out of your degree apprenticeship, what are you going to do? And I was like, you're still going to go into FM because I want to set my own company up. Yeah. And everyone's like, what are you going to do? And I just think facilities management, because there is so much.
Oh, it's a great career.
Yeah, and I think the more that I speak to people, the more exposure I get. So I'm doing a lot of education at the minute anyway. Yeah. And trying to get as much exposure to different people, environments, industries. And I just think the more exposure I get, the more I think, wow, it's just completely untouched, and I have absolutely no idea what's going on half the time. So it's really good to see how things actually work and the different people there are.
I'm 20 years in, Ella. I still think.
Yeah, how do you think I feel? I'm 2 years.
I think that's the joy of FM, though, isn't it? Every day you're kind of going, wow, that's something new.
Yeah.
But what you described there is actually, you found a way to do something when there was no other way.
Yeah.
That is FM. We find a way to fix something that's outside the box.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what you love about it.
So it's kind of in your DNA, really, without you even realising that it was in your DNA. You just went out and did what an FM does.
Well and truly, yeah.
That's not bad.
I've got to thank my parents for that. So
no, well done. That's great to see. We'll come back to you in a minute because there's some more interesting elements about you, Ella, that we need to talk about during this podcast. But let's move over to the Conciliary. Mr. Young.
Hello.
Hello, sir. How the devil are you?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, you look very dapper, by the way.
Well, I made the effort just for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
It's the first one. I thought I've got to push the boat out, right?
Yeah. Make me look good, mate. That's what
I've spent my career making you look better.
So is Wes.
So basically, everybody.
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. I need more than one person doing it.
It's an industry-wide challenge.
It is an industry-wide challenge. How to make Mark Robinson look good. Okay, your route into FM, mate. Tell us all about it.
So my route is probably very typical of everybody else in that I fell into FM. So my career set was I was joining the Navy. I was going to spend my career. That was where I was going. When a number of things happened, and that never really progressed, and I started doing some caretaking as a bit of a starter. And then that then went, oh, actually this is quite fun. I quite enjoy this. But what I was missing from being a caretaker was leadership and doing that leadership piece. So then I stepped up into the next role and so forth, and 15 years later I'm still doing it and still enjoying every single day of it. And I think it's interesting kind of what you both said in terms of how the route into FM is still very much a trip into it. You almost trip into it and go, wow, how did that happen? And I'm here. And you never look back and you think, wow, that was really cool. And I think as an industry, we need to recognise that's the case. That people, there is still a lot of people that trip into it. But I also know as an industry, we're looking at how we can encourage people to it. And that's where those cool old buildings, I prefer an old building, right? Because I think there's a lot of history and story behind it. And all. Ghosties, But I think that's what we need to sell to everybody else who wants to come into the industry of, come and see these cool old buildings. And there's some cool new buildings as well. But people want to see the history, don't they? And access all areas, which we get as facilities managers. Yeah.
It's quite interesting that you say that, just with regards to the falling into it. And I think that leads on to why stay in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because a lot of young people, I think, that would look at FM as a career opportunity, probably go, I don't want to manage a building and look after toilets and things like that, or be a receptionist or a security officer or a cleaning operative or whatever it might be within the space where they start. But there's a reason you guys, you two specifically, not you, El, you're still
young.
You're nearly there.
Yeah.
But there's a reason
Godfather
you guys stayed
soon.
into it. So what I'd like you to explain, especially for young people that might be watching the podcast, is why did you stay in it? Was it the opportunities that the industry created for you, or was it the job role? Was it the... Explain that. Give people some guidance around what that looks like.
I think it's the diversity of opportunity.
Right.
And I think so I look back at my career and I've done nearly all the industries now. With bar maybe defence, I've not been there yet. But I think that's the interesting thing, and that's the reason why I've stayed here, is the diversity of opportunities. And all my career steps have all been in kind of different... I work in rail now, and 2 years ago I worked for Just Eat, and
you did, that's very true.
Completely different exposure to different things, and I think that's...
I see that you've lost weight since you left Just Eat as well.
No more takeaway allowance.
No freebies.
Yeah, freebies. No, I'm joking. That's not true, people, by the way. I'm just
cut it.
But it is true.
I think what you're saying is true as well, though. You're always learning as well. I find, like, every day you learn something new, even being the Godfather now at this age and nearly retired. But you learn.
No, I don't call you the Godfather because you're old. I call you the Godfather because of your level of knowledge in the industry.
I'll take that.
That's what I'm referring to. No. I'm not referring to your...
That's 2 out of 3. He's offended now.
But you continue learning. You're continually dealing with like different people from different backgrounds, and it's just every day is different, and it's got a great deal of longevity in this career.
Okay, so Wes, talk us through the type of role you started in, and how over the years your career has accelerated, because you've had an astounding career. You've worked for some of the largest providers of facility services, not just in the UK but in the world. Let's be honest. So where did you start, mate? I suppose is the best way to explain it. And what route did you go through, and how did you build your career?
Yeah, so I suppose I started out, done my GCSEs, went to college, started A-levels.
Yeah.
Wasn't really interested in that route. I wasn't good, I wasn't academic. So I left halfway through my A-levels. I wanted to earn money.
Yeah.
And go out and party like everyone else. So I left and I went to work for my family's company. My dad was in office fit-outs.
Right.
So I learned a trade for a good few years.
Oh, so you actually started on the tools?
Yeah, which has helped me massively now, because dealing with contractors and being in FM and doing fit-outs, I've obviously done that job myself.
So you understand it, yeah, you get the challenges.
Yeah, and so they don't pull the wool over my eyes very often. So I started there, went into construction, and then, like I say, I kind of fell into FM for a smaller property management firm.
Yeah.
And then I went from being FM for Property Serve, who worked for JLL, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Where I finally ended up. So I worked in and around JLL for many years.
Yes.
And I went from being an FM up to being head of facilities there. So I was there for 9 years. And I built a team, went from 10 buildings to 100 buildings under management.
Wow.
Yeah.
How much in assets were you managing at this, when you had those 100 buildings? What was the value of those assets? Do you have a number?
I can't remember. It must have been at least 100 million. So,
wow.
So that was a while back.
Yeah.
And it was all over. I was head of FM for UK-wide. So
wow.
Travel up to Scotland, Harrogate, various places.
Yeah, Harrogate's nice.
Harrogate's lovely.
Yeah, it's all right, Harrogate. It's my part of the world. Yeah.
So then I kind of moved around a bit, and I went off and done operations role for Derwent London.
Yeah.
One of the biggest developers in London. I was regional director for MAP.
Right.
And then I went residential, which was
different.
I'm going to say different. Well done, Ella. Thank you for that word. I was going to use another word. So I went to work for Ballamore in Canary Wharf, high-end luxury.
Yeah.
And all the fun that comes with thousands and thousands of residents and swimming pools, etc.
Yeah.
And then I went to JLL as a FM account director for the Aviva portfolio.
Okay.
Which was a global business. So kind of built my way up. As I said, I wasn't academic, but FM made me have to go back and do certain things and do NEBOSH, do IOSH. I was part of the IWFM, now a fellow of the IWFM, and there's only sort of 250, I think, of us now in the world. So that was kind of the pinnacle of my career when I was awarded that. It took a long time, and a lot of hard work to get there.
Yeah. So, but I mean, to be fair, I don't think you're doing yourself enough justice, Wes. So I'm just going to explain to everybody listening why Wes is not doing himself enough justice. Wes is a mentor to how many people across the industry?
Well, as a fellow, we have to mentor.
Have to.
He mentors copious amounts of people.
Yes, yeah.
You're the go-to people for a lot of people in your network when they have an issue or a problem that they need resolving and things like that, and you're always on hand to help. So where does your drive, and then we're going to talk about the swerve in a minute, all right, because there's an interesting swerve, everybody, all right, we'll talk about the swerve in a minute, but where does your drive come from and to help the next generation of people coming up through the industry?
I think obviously everyone that ever worked for me, all the FMs, as you know, are still in contact.
Yes, they are.
They still network with us. We still mentor all of them, and they will come to me when they have problems.
Yeah.
So that's a great thing of being, in the IWFM part. I really enjoy. Obviously, me and Ella also sit on the Rising Star, the IWFM committee, trying to bring young people into the industry.
Yep.
Which is, as we sort of touched on, no one sets out to be an FM, unless you're Ella.
Yeah.
Unless you're Ella.
So we're trying to
no, don't forget, she didn't. She lied to get on the show, guys. That's what it was.
So we're trying to find more Ellas, but we can only find Ella that wants to come into the industry. And we're trying to work out how do we find these people and where do we find these people.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole purpose of this podcast, really. You know what I mean? It creates a medium for young people that young people understand. You know, where they can listen to people like yourself. Probably more importantly, people like Ella.
Yeah.
That are young and moving into the industry.
People at the beginning of their career.
At the beginning of their career. I don't mean that, but you know what I'm saying. I think that's quite important. But it's great to see that you're investing in the younger talent that's coming through the industry. We'll come on to you in a minute, Ella, but I know that you do a very similar thing, Wayne. I believe you're very invested in that world as well, aren't you?
Yeah. So very much like the Risings are about bringing that new entry into it, IWFM and FM as a career.
Right.
So I chair the People Development Special Interest Group, and our purpose is around taking people who are already in FM and how they create that career path. So me as a caretaker, how did I create that path up to where I am now, head of FM?
That's what I find interesting. That's why I asked you that. I find that how do you go from there, from A to B?
Yeah.
You know, it's weird, isn't it?
And I think as an industry, we've not yet done enough work on that. So how do we capture a cleaner, security officer, a receptionist, to want a fulfilling relationship in facilities management, and then give them the skills and the mindset to be able to develop that further? And I think podcasts like this are really powerful towards that, because I think that's the difference between a cleaner being inspired and going, actually, I enjoyed listening to the Godfather of FM and about his career path.
And his Conciliary.
and just how then that development through the industry can really happen. And I think that's what I'm all about right now, is about talking to as many people as I possibly can, saying, look, I started as a caretaker, and 15 years later, I now lead an FM for a business that's quite big, has a large estate. You can do the same.
That's so powerful. Like, to somebody that's young like me, I look at that and I just think, wow.
Yeah.
You just want a job at Just Eat. Come on, be honest.
Always. If I can get freebies, I'm not going to turn it down. Come on, why do you think I came on here?
You can come and work on trains if you want.
I think it shows that nothing's unachievable there.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a good thing about FM, right? Is nothing is unachievable in FM. If you've got the right passion, drive, and willingness to say yes when something looks rough and horrible, and just say yes. That's going to be the next step. That makes you progress that next, and it might just be a small step, but that small step over a period of time drives you to where you want to go.
I think the drive is the most important factor. You know, I mean, I know you very well, Wes. I know you very well, and I've getting to know you. But what I do know about you as a group of people is you are all very driven in terms of what you want to achieve and where you want to get in the industry. Do you think without that drive? And once again, Ella, I am going to come back to you.
It's all right. I'm just chopping.
That's fine. You are not, because we've got a very good section. Without that drive, do you think you would have got as far as you have in the industry? Or because it's not an industry where you can just coast in, is it? Let's be honest. Like that, you have to be honest about that. There's work.
Yeah, you have to have drive. You have to work hard. But it's not unobtainable. You don't look at it and say, "Oh, I have to have a degree to get to the next level." You can continuously come through without without education behind you, and you're learning on the job. It's one that you're learning whilst you're doing the job.
And absolutely, I think drive's the biggest bit, because you think about, as a facilities manager, those phone calls at 3 o'clock in the morning, something's gone wrong. The drive to go, right, okay, I'm going to deal with that. That's the difference between kind of success and failure in our industry.
At 2 o'clock in the morning.
Or
there's a flood.
Or there's a toilet blocked, and actually just going, I'm going to go deal with it. We talk about toilets a lot in FM, because in reality, that's where we spend most of our time.
No, it is,
But the honesty of it is without that drive, means you don't want to deal with those small issues. You want the glory, you want the posh buildings and all that kind of fun stuff. And it's the drive that makes that difference of learn and develop and all those kind of fun things that you probably see in most of the people. Interestingly, we talked about university degrees. I don't have a university degree, do you?
No.
And I know you're sitting for one, but I don't think a degree is a prerequisite for success in our industry. I think time and grit, determination are those things that actually do.
The University of Life.
Agreed.
The University of FM.
The University of FM.
There's always problems in FM. It's how you deal with them. My kids say it now. There's no problems, only solutions.
No, that's true. To be fair, I think it gives you better life skills in terms of your personal life and everything like that as well, like how you manage certain situations and deal with different people.
There's absolutely a place, though, for people in the industry who do have degrees. And I think,
of course,
I think
surveyors.
I wasn't going to say it.
No, I'm not just saying it. Just dropping it in there.
You said it, not me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all the surveyors got
now.
Yeah, exactly. No, but there is, and there's a lot of skill, especially in like the stuff you're doing is going to be hugely influential to what you do as a career and as an industry, as you develop in the industry and drive that industry forwards as well.
So Wayne, when we first met, about 5 years ago now,
it was a while ago,
along those lines.
Like
at that time, you were the Young Pattern Makers Facilities Manager of the Year, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
When we initially met, I was very proud of you.
I was much younger then.
I know. But we actually have in this room today the Young Facilities Manager of the Year for 2025?
2026.
Is it 2026?
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're future.
I get a 14-month reign. So.
A reign? Do you get a crown?
Reign.
I would say so in my eyes. But yeah.
Oh, well, talk to us a little bit about, because what an achievement. Let's give Ella a round of applause.
Thank
because
you.
that is fantastic. Come on, lads, in the background. Get up, guys.
Thanks,
we need your help. You might not be on camera, but you are extras. Come on. Bringing you in. Team FMX. Yeah, tell us a little bit about that, and also as well, tell us because what you did online in terms of documenting your journey, how you actually went about going through the application process, because you didn't know what the pattern makers were before.
No.
Did you?
Have you seen the video?
I've seen it. Yeah, I watched it. I thought it was brilliant. But you followed there's everything in there. So talk to us a little bit about that and why you were actually awarded as the Young FM of the Year. What was the deciding factor for the pattern makers?
Well, if you want to know why I was awarded, you can ask the judge himself.
Oi up!
Wayne judged me, actually, so Wayne can actually give you the down low as to why I won it. But
well, let's talk about the process first.
Yeah.
And then we'll come to Mr. Young. And can you talk about that?
I think I can share that. I think it's useful.
Okay, cool.
So the process of that, I didn't actually have a clue what the pattern makers was. I had no idea what a worshipful company was, what a trade guild was.
Neither did I when he told me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still fairly clueless, to be honest. I probably know more than the average person on it, but yeah, somebody quite senior in the industry, Joanna Lloyd-Davis, contacted me and said, I think you should go for this award. I've gone for the IWFM Newcomer of the Year, and I'm a finalist for that as well. So I was like,
done.
Thank you, I'll find out on Thursday how that goes. But yeah, I was like, I didn't really have much interest. I was reading through the specification of like what I would need to get onto it.
Yeah.
Me and my dad were walking through Cambodia. We were just reading the content, and he was
randomly.
Well, yeah, it was really random.
That wasn't just flex
just
at all, was it?
Just passing through Angkor Wat.
But what's ironic?
Just walking through Cambodia, looking on my phone. I've got Wi-Fi even in Cambodia.
No, and to make it even better, just to add a bit of context as to where I was in Cambodia, I was actually in a hospital getting a rabies vaccine.
Oh, lovely. Did you get bit by a dog?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I got bit by a stray dog.
Really?
Yeah,
you got to be careful with that.
Reading the specification.
so no, you could say that. I could have just said that for the plot, but
isn't it a series of shots?
Yeah, I had to get 9 vaccines. It was really bad.
Isn't it a couple of days or something that you got to have them over?
Yeah, so I had to get when I first got bitten, because I got bitten and I got scratched, so I had to have 2 shots in each arm, and then in Vietnam, a week later, I had to get another shot. But when I got to Vietnam, they had no idea what I'd had in Cambodia. So I was like, all right. So they gave me like 4 injections in the actual bite site, which was excruciatingly painful, but anyway. Really? And then got back to the UK, and my leg inflamed, and they thought I had sepsis. So then I had to get however many more shots, and then
no way.
Yeah.
You weren't daft enough to go up to this dog and go, Dad, this is hello.
No, you know what though, I actually
scrolling on a phone about it.
Honestly,
you were looking at
honestly, my ego's too big for that, so thanks. But so as I was saying, I was walking through Cambodia, scrolling through the content.
Yeah.
And I thought, I've got no chance of getting on this. Like, it was 5 years or less experience, and some of the stuff was like, you need to have managed a project or managed a team, and I was like, I've not done that. I've only got 2 years of experience. Like, I've only had 1 year of fully pushing myself to the full extent in the industry. My dad was like, just apply for it, you've got nothing to lose. So I was like, right, okay.
Yeah.
And obviously my platform that I'm working on at the minute, the CEO Blueprint, that's about documenting my journey to be the leader that I want to be.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, I'll use that as an opportunity to actually document the reality of success as whether I win this or not. So I'm doing the same.
Such a good idea.
Yeah. So I'm doing the same with the IWFM Award. So if I lose, you'll see me in tears about it. Because it's the truth. It's showing people the truth about what's actually happened. So I decided to document that whole process.
But even being nominated is such an achievement. At such a young age as well. It really is. You should be very proud of yourself. I never win any awards.
I'm not surprised.
I'm incredibly jealous.
I'm joking.
I might win a podcast award one day. Who knows?
I'll nominate you for a podcast award.
Yes, do it. Good
I will
stuff.
do.
Thank
Mark,
you.
blowing your ego. But so I just applied for it and then got an email saying, you're a finalist. I was like, oh my God, I didn't even expect to get a finalist. I had no idea, didn't know who the judges were, and then the judges' email came out and it's like, I know all these judges. I was like, that's great. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Right, yeah.
And then,
relationships make the world go around. I've been saying that for years. I don't care what anyone says.
I strongly agree with that. Yeah. And then, got invited to the trade dinner. I didn't know who had won, obviously, and then got the email saying that I won it. So, very, very pleased, very taken aback. I had absolutely no kind of anticipate. It wasn't even on my bingo card to like even go forward for it, and Eve was getting bitten by a dog, but here we are.
Yeah, here we are. And, when life gives you lemons.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, in terms of the IWFM award, like that's been on my bingo card for a year now. Like I've got a thing on the back of my door saying, you know, I'm going to win it in 2025. So if I don't win it, that's a bit embarrassing. But
no, it's not. It's not embarrassing at all. Well, just being nominated, like I said, is a massive achievement.
Yeah, you could say that.
And just because you don't win it this year, it doesn't mean you can't go back in next year.
I probably wouldn't go for it next year.
Nah, of course you do. No, never give up, never surrender. Buzz Lightyear, very intelligent.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, you know?
No, I don't know. I don't really feel proud of myself when I achieve anything like that.
You don't?
No.
Why?
I don't know. I don't want to like deep it, but I just don't.
No, it's interesting. No,
it's like, you know, everyone's like, oh, you know, you should be so happy, fine listening, and I'm just like, yeah, well, if I don't win it, who cares? It's like nobody.
You're a winner.
No, but nobody remembers who comes second.
Second place, isn't it?
No one remembers who comes second.
No, that's true. That is true. Yeah.
But I also,
that's the FM fighting spirit.
Yeah, but it's like I will get up and try again, and I think if I don't if I don't win, then, you know, part of me's like, oh, well, I'll be devastated. I will be. I'd be more bothered by the IWFM not winning the IWFM than not winning the pattern makers at the time. Whereas now I'm like, oh, I won the pattern makers. Huh? Yeah.
I actually think not winning, I think sometimes actually makes you better.
I agree.
More than winning.
I agree.
You know, losing out on something that you really want drives you to be better in a way that winning doesn't. Because winning, I think, if you win everything, you become complacent.
I agree.
That's why I'm really good at my job, because I win nothing.
I mean, that's
really small violin player.
That's such a young age as well. And,
I know.
You know, to win everything now would be.
That's what I'm thinking.
Where are you going to go to?
Yeah.
I know. That's what my dad said. Lifetime achievement next year.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be like the queen of FM in 10 years' time. You know, bow to me.
I know. I'm not hoping that I lose, obviously, but I think if I don't win it, I do think it's going to build my character, and I think it's good content that I can sit and say, okay, well, here's the real life documentation of me getting set back from something I really wanted to achieve, and here's how I'll go about it to get it next time and just be better. And I think it is about, you know, when you're on like a win streak and you're like, right, when's it going to crash? I'm kind of at that point now where I'm like...
It just crashed.
Yeah.
Shame on there.
Oh,
wow. That's a shot.
I know.
You can
it's about time you can serve him.
No, leave it in. Let's see what his true colours are.
True Wes is
the true Wes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let us know. We'd love to find out, you know, how you get on at the awards. So it's this week, isn't it?
It's Thursday. Yeah.
Thursday. Ooh, way up. And Wayne.
Hello.
So tell us, as a judge, what stood out for you with...
I think what I should probably say to start off with, actually, all the entrants were really, really, really good.
Yeah, they were.
Like, exceptionally good.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I think... the Pattern Makers Award is a little bit different from most other awards in that to even become a finalist, it has to go through quite a really stringent,
very rigorous
process.
and quite challenging, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I think if I was to pick out where Ella stood out, I think it's your drive and your ambition to be kind of successful and drive forward what you do, and I think that those were the things that really stood out. Yeah. Especially to me, I can't really speak too much for the other judges, but for me, I was impressed at how at a young age you've clearly set your drive forward. I want to achieve this, and you know how you're going to get there, which is really impressive. Yeah. And I think if everybody at 21, as you were then,
21,
had that similar drive, I think the world would be an impressive place, because people, all these young people, would have a clear understanding of. Would it be though? Well, it'd be very competitive.
I mean, imagine if you had 100 of me running around.
Yeah, I think it was oldies. Yeah, I class myself as an oldie now. I'm only 36. Yeah. But we'd have all these exceptional people to manage, wouldn't we?
Trust me, I'm not the right person to want to manage.
Right. Okay.
Honestly, you can cut that out.
Yeah. So as we saw today, so at the FM and Building Environment show today, they were talking a little bit about this ageing workforce in FM. Yeah. And I think so that the number currently sits at 50. So the average age of FM is 50. And that's worrying though, right? And that's why I think it's really important for young people with drive.
I agree.
And again, if everybody in FM who was 21, 22, 25 had that drive and passion, that age limit would start growing.
because there'd be more people that stick around for it. And I think that's part of the problem, is those 8, those 21. It'd be interesting, and maybe we should look at that from an IWFM perspective, of how many people at 21 to 25 leave the industry before they've stepped forwards, and we should look at cleaners all the way up to account management and all that kind of type of stuff, because I'd be interesting to understand why that is.
So how would you formulate a study like that then? How would you go about pulling that data and information together? Would that be some kind of initiative that the likes of IWFM led with contracting businesses, support functions, people that were prepared to get involved in it? Wes, you're a fellow at the IWFM. Let's have some insight from you, sir.
Yeah, so I suppose we're trying to, on the Risings, we're trying to go to sort of universities and people coming out of school, and how FM is recognised career, but who goes and does the exams and wants to be an FM. How do we target those people?
Well, some people went to university to do exams because they wanted to be David Beckham.
Yeah,
but there's only one David Beckham.
Yeah. Or Taylor Swift. A degree on Taylor Swift.
A degree in Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
No, they did, honestly. There used to be a degree on David Beckham. Yeah.
But I think there's also another problem in the industry, which
Ruben's doing it.
The other problem that
Taylor Swift is doing it.
The other problem I find, which is the opposite of that, is there's a lot of over promotion, and a lot of companies calling people senior FMs when they've had like a year's experience.
I back that massively.
So I've had that a lot, especially going further and further and interviewing people. I'm getting seniors come in that were my receptionists a year ago. It's done a year of FM, and now they've been an FM and then being promoted to senior. To try and maybe to keep them on, I don't know for what reason. And then
let's delve into that, because that's it. Now really that is interesting.
Yeah.
Now that's an interesting insight which I haven't heard before.
Yeah.
So let's delve into this. Okay. All right. So what do you think drives? Do you think that that's driven by the fact that they want to retain the people that they've got, so we've got to give them a promotion, or is that it's easier than investing in their skill set with training? Give them an alternate title? Like, what would be the...
It's two sides to it, really, isn't it? Because, a property management company want experienced people for their clients. So if you've got a senior FM running the building, but that senior FM is not really senior and is on a lower salary, it comes across that, you've got a team of experienced people. It's also for retention of staff.
So there's an element of optics associated with it.
I believe so. That's just my opinion.
I reckon it's probably a commercial thing. So it's easier to sell to a client, so your team is made up of several senior FMs. And I think it gives that confidence, right, to a client who's paying for an FM.
So the client automatically thinks that they're getting a high level of service because of the experience within the organisation.
Otherwise you can say I've got an assistant facilities manager looking after your £10 million building.
Yeah,
and he's just out of school.
Yeah,
was that okay?
I suppose.
So,
I do get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's quite interesting. Ella, what do you think of that? What's your view?
How controversial can I be?
Listen, this is a podcast. You can be as controversial as you want. Be honest. I think honesty is important. If you don't have difficult conversations, how can you come up with resolutions?
Because I'm at the start of my career and don't want to.
No, I don't think it negatively impacts you.
You are at the start of your career, but you've got to remember, one of the things that I've talked about before is about how you've got a voice in the industry now, and being able to use that to better the industry, and you can only do that by being honest.
Yeah, a refreshing voice.
And you'll see it from the opposite angle that I will see it from hiring people.
Yeah.
I just think it's like every man and their dog is in a position of management now. It's like somebody who's studying a business management degree, and it's like I'm learning all the theory that's associated with management, and I understand that management isn't going to be textbook, and that's not real world. But it's like people are managing stuff, and it's like, well, what are they managing? Like, they're a contract manager, but they're doing administration. It's like, that's not the role of a manager. Like, we do a lot of work in uni about the difference between management and leadership. And I can see that in the industry, because I'm obviously involved in the IWFM and speak to a lot of different people in the industry. And I do just think that the role of a manager and the role of management is not clearly defined. And I think relating to what you said about people being pushed up the ranks based on title, it's the association of what management is that's not correct with what people's ability actually is.
Agreed.
That's a very I would not disagree with that at
it's
all.
Like you'll know this. Like in Australia, you have to have a certain accreditation to say that you're a manager.
Yep.
Whereas it's like here, it's like, oh yeah, I'm a contract manager. Yeah, I'm a commercial manager. It's like, of what? Like, I could say that I'm a manager. I say I'm a management degree apprentice, and it's like, that's my job title, because I don't really have one. But I can say I'm a business development manager. I'm not. But I could give my own title as that.
I don't know, though. You could, because the economies in Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Canada, they're all very, very different. So the economy in the UK is very much driven by experience. And it is very much and it's not just in FM, it's in other industries as well. It's very much, if you have the capabilities, it's like the old football adage, if you're good enough, you're old enough. And that's kind of what's permeated throughout throughout the UK's history, really, during the Industrial Revolution and all that stuff. Whereas countries like Australia, they are, they've got a better education system than us, for one thing. They are driven slightly differently. And I don't know if one is better than the other. But I don't disagree that in the economy, in our industry specifically, we probably have far more captains than we do soldiers, which can sometimes cause a problem when you're trying to push something forward and elevate an industry.
I think what you're saying as well, there's no standardisation of what an FM is, because people are falling into it from 10 different roles, not
roles.
setting out to be it. So they don't know they have to get X, Y, and Z to become an FM.
Yeah.
They're coming out from every single angle. Therefore, that's why it's somewhat easier to get into FM. Yeah. Especially in the old days, it was a lot easier because we came from skilled trades, or we came from, looking after boilers, or
fell
into it.
All you had to do back then was drink 10 pints, wasn't it? And you were in.
No, that's now.
10
or was it 23 back then?
Yeah, you have to maintain that level over the years. I know that's hard. That gets harder as you get older.
No, fair enough. Okay, but that is very interesting, though. But isn't that the function that IWFM performs, though? Because the reality is, if you're isn't that supposed to be the function that IWFM performs?
Yeah, and I think that...
And that might be my lack of understanding of IWFM, and I think tell me if I'm wrong.
I think
Tread carefully.
Yes.
Wes, do not punch me.
There's a fellow in here. I think exactly that. I think IWFM is setting out to try and standardise that experience. Yeah. And that's the reason why we have certified members, fellows, associates
down the bottom. Thank you.
Sorry. But that's the reason, right? So if you're an associate, or you're a member, or you're certified, or you're a fellow, you can clearly distinguish kind of the experience they've got within the industry. And I welcome the fact that IWFM now have opened up the certified, because I've just done it, grade for experience. Because before that, you had to have a degree to be able to become a certified member of IWFM.
Okay. So just let's wheel it back a little bit. Okay. So do we think then, as a group, not me specifically because I'm a nobody, but you guys as professionals within the FM sphere, do you think that going down the route that the government, for example, did with the likes of the SIA, where they standardised an industry, should apply in the same way to facilities management? That's a controversial question. I'm throwing it out there, guys.
I don't really know, because then on the flip side, it's like playing devil's advocate to what you've just said.
Yeah.
Why does age determine your ability and your experience?
I agree, yeah.
So this is what's like frustrating about, obviously, what I've said is that about being a manager, you should have this amount of experience or whatever. But then it's like, I've just turned 22 and I'll probably be, I would say I'm probably capable of managing something now, like a small project or a small team. I've not had any exposure to it, but I think I've got the soft skills to be able to give it a go.
Yeah, well, there's lots of people with experience, but it doesn't mean that they can manage.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a very different skill set, and it's a very different thing. It's the same as management and leadership. Like, people conflate them. They're different. Really, really different. So experience means that, let's say, use you as an example, Wes. Okay, you started off on the tool, so you can go into a building and if the fabric's not right or what needs fixing in terms of that fabric. But when you first went into FM, you probably didn't have a significant amount of exposure around managing people. That was a new skill set that you probably had to learn, probably through an awful lot of pain.
I'm still learning every day. Yeah, managing people is one of the hardest things.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Sorry, just to add to that. So I think it's really important to distinguish, though, that I don't think IWFM is looking at age as that experience. I think experience for IWFM is exposure and not necessarily age, because I think I'm passionate about this because I started my career when I was 21, and if I had have been stalled because of my age, I wouldn't be here. And it's really, really important for me that actually as a 21, 22-year-old, that actually you can see that the light is ahead of you, because if people are trying to get in the way of that's going to stall us as an industry as well.
I don't disagree with that either. No,
I agree with that as well.
That's a really valid point.
And I think IWFM are really starting to really gather that it isn't about age, it's about experience and exposure, and that's what FM's about, right? And I think back to kind of the original question of should it go down the similar route with SIA? I don't think it can. I don't think it can be as prescribed.
I don't think it can,
because the industry is so large, so many different.
The SIA hasn't necessarily worked either. Let's be honest.
I think you can exclude a lot of people then, and the people that you need.
Yes.
Will be excluded from the industry.
It creates a scenario where you would have...
And the diversity will change.
Yes, which would be very poor for the industry.
Yeah.
But it's quite interesting that we're in this room today and we're actually having this conversation, though. The conversation has to start somewhere, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So maybe you three are the champions, the people that take it forward.
Yeah.
We already do. We've got a meeting next week.
Yeah, well, there you go then. See,
Exactly.
I just noticed it,
But the interesting thing, Ella is that.
Your face.
Ella is that voice, right? And that's why Ella winning the Pattern Makers Award was so good, and the fact you're a finalist is really good. But then you're also doing some stuff with IWFM as well, aren't you? That's going to hopefully drive that forward as well.
Yeah.
Well, I think us both being on the same committee, we've got two completely different views of
I think
how to come in the industry and how people got into the industry. And like I say, you are the voice of the people coming through.
Rising's committee, there's completely different ends of the spectrum as well, right? So there's another grandfather of FM in terms of Bernard Crouch is on there. I mean that in the nicest way possible.
Because he has say something not very nice, but
he has been in the industry and everybody knows him.
Yeah. That could be referencing any Bernard Crouch anyway. So I just want to try the grandfather of the industry.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
I'm sticking to it. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
You're not calling him a dinosaur, have you? So.
No, Bernard's a lovely guy, and you're right though. He does have a significant amount of experience, and it is great to see that that you guys are as heavily involved with IWFM as you are. I'm involved. I won't say who I represent, but as a representative, I get associations with IWFM. It helps me in terms of delivering what I need to deliver in my role on a daily basis. So I think it's a fantastic tool for the industry, and it's great to hear that those type of conversations are taking place within it at a high level and from different experience ranges, age ranges, and so on and so forth, because that can only make the industry stronger, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
But I think it's beyond. I think it needs. IWFM's great because I think that's our central focal point as an industry. But I think there's so many other things like the pattern makers and the livery company.
I agree.
Element of that is a huge opportunity as well for us as an industry to drive forward that youth and engagement within the and also all the other bits. There's so many good things we can do in the industry that are beyond. IWFM's kind of should be the glue that sticks all those bits together.
No, I agree.
But there is so many other bits as well.
I think you can go anyway. Lots of people diversify, from FM. They're still in FM, but they go into sustainability or they go into mechanical, electrical, and CC. And I think FM is
Well, I actually think that's what's great about FM. The things that I really like about the industry. There's one, you can be an operative one day and then the following day you could be going through a scenario whereby you become an assistant building manager because you're prepared to put the work in. It's one of those industries where you can literally start from the bottom and work your way up. Similar to retail, there's not many left these days where you can actually start on the shop floor and progress. I mean, there's CEOs across our industry that started as operative security officers, front of house, and so on and so forth. And I think that's really powerful.
It's like any industry. If you've got drive, you can make it. You've got to have the passion. You've got to want to do it, and you've got to want to make it happen.
Okay, cool. Right, well, I want to talk about one more thing. AI, artificial intelligence. I do want to talk about this. So, T1000s, when they coming?
What's that?
Terminator?
She's only 22.
Have you heard? I'll be back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that film.
Sadly.
No, Terminator 2. So
Jeez, you caught me off guard. Go on.
That's all right. So AI, and look, I mean, we've talked about Discovery and FM. We've talked about where the industry's been for the last 50 or so years, for example.
He's not that old.
I'm not talking about. I wasn't mentioning him.
You looked at me very strange.
That's two.
Yeah.
That's three strikes.
If I could get out of this room, I'd leave now.
That's why you sat at the back.
No, I did. I meant everybody when I did it, and me as well. I'm an old bugger. I'm older than him. Yeah, see, there we go.
Don't be surprised.
But yeah, AI. So we've talked about the past. What do you think the future actually looks like with the advent of AI? Are we talking? Do you think about a scenario where, I mean, look, you've seen that Elon Musk has brought out an Optimus robot. Everyone seen that? That can do everything that a human being can do in terms of movement and so on and so forth. Do we think that in the future, roles like cleaning operatives, security officers, front of house, do you think that those roles will be absorbed? Well, I know you're saying that. However, people in the industry would indicate that universal basic income is coming, that 90% of jobs that humans perform right now in the next 5 to 10 years will be performed by robots. How do you think that will affect the industry, if at all?
So I'm going to go back to something you just said. So you talked about how retail is kind of very similar, and the thing that sticks those two things together are people and the service that people deliver. And I think that's the difference between AI and robots leading facilities management roles in the future and not, because ultimately people are always going to want people and that service. And I think that's the difference. And I think clean robots will grow and will develop into other things. I just don't think it will replace entirely cleaners, because people will always want to see somebody cleaning the reception area of a building.
Let me reframe the question. Okay.
That's cheating.
Autonomous robotics. Yeah, they can now utilise plastics and things like that to give them the appearance of a human being, so you wouldn't have any idea if that was a human being or a robot that was mopping that floor, manning that reception desk or something like that. If business, and this is business really, as opposed to, if business gets to the point where it thinks to itself, right, I can make a capital expenditure of £50,000, get a robot that's going to sit on my front desk for 10 years, never be sick, never need holidays, never need anything, just need to charge it. This is an interesting question. Do you think business will go down that route?
No. There's always someone behind it. Someone has to program it. Someone has to charge it. There's always, it might replace certain things, but I don't ever think you'll replace the personal FM touch. No,
I don't think you could replace an FM. Well, I'm talking about more ancillary services is what I'm talking about. Like, if let's say your average cleaning contract, for example, in a building in central London, let's say that's £500,000, all right, for 10-15 operatives to deliver that service. You could perhaps in that building buy 10 robots, for example, that could do that same service, except you only have to purchase them as a capex at the beginning of the contract, and you know that with a maintenance agreement, sounds terrible, but it is true, it's the way the world will go. With a maintenance agreement and all that stuff, you know that it's going to cost you X over 10 years, which will cost you £100,000 each year instead of £500,000 each year. Now, we all know what human beings are like. We all know what a P&L looks like and smells like and things like that. Do you really think that business, and business on the whole, not even just FM, business on the whole is going to turn around and go, well, my shareholders would be quite happy if I could save X on the bottom line because we went down this route? Because me personally, I think it'll happen. I really do. I think it'll happen.
When?
So I wanted
when do you think it'll happen?
I think if you look at the speed of AI, I'll tell you what, let's correlate it with the internet. Yeah. So when the internet first came out in like 96 or something like that, you had dial-up. Yeah, you had dial-up modems, and the pace in which the internet changed was absolutely historic for the human race. We'd never seen anything like it, but that change took about 25 years. With AI, we're going to see far more change on a far more industrial scale but it's going to be done in about 5 years instead of 25. So the pace is just going to be phenomenal. But honestly, once it gets to average general intelligence, they call it AGI, then it will surpass most human beings in terms of intelligence and reasoning and capability and things like that. You put that into an autonomous body or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, maybe they'll put solar panels on the head so you don't need to charge it. Who knows?
Put some hair on it while it's right.
But it is, because there's interesting conversations taking place right now about universal basic income and how it will change how we do things. So I am very interested in it, which is why I ask you guys, have you considered it? Have you thought about what the ramifications of our industry will be as a direct result of it?
I have considered it, and I've had a couple of done a couple of webinars on AI, and I think AI is a really useful tool if you know what it's going to be used for, and I think that's the problem we've got at the moment, is we don't really understand its use and its ability within the FM industry. Nobody really goes, right, I need AI because it's going to solve these problems. I think there's a lot of opportunity out there.
I was going to say, I completely agree with this.
Go on.
I think there's a lot of opportunity out there, but the problem is nobody knows what it really wants to do with AI, and I think that's the bit that's going to slow that progression down. So I don't think it's going to be 5 years till we start seeing Linda, the robotic receptionist.
Right.
I think it'll be more like 25, 30 years.
Yeah, but what you've got to remember, though, is the ability for these robots to move and is already there. The ability's there. The issue is around the AI thinking for itself within an autonomous unit. Now, AGI will be here before 5 years. AGI will give those robots the ability to think like me and you, move around like me and you, communicate like me and you. Yeah. So it will be here within 5 years, guaranteed, because Elon Musk said it. Other technocrats have said it. They've said it will be here.
I suppose my challenge on that will be is I remember going to, just before COVID, I went to some launch event for some robotic cleaners in the centre of London. It was really cool. It was, I love a robot cleaner, and the robot cleaner was cool. That was 5 years ago. I still don't see many of them out there on any FM estate. I see them as wild
they're
pieces.
a fad, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they
are.
Yeah.
But I think that's the problem, and I think that will be the bit that we have to get over is actually what use is it? It comes back to the same AI thing. What use is it? Is it going to be better than a person? Is it going to have those limitations?
Yeah.
And I get people have limitations as well, and that is human, that we have those limitations. But is that robot going to have a limitation that we can't get over it as yet in terms of service delivery? Because that is ultimately what we all do. We deliver
in FM. We're looking to make things safer. I was talking to someone this week about drones. Obviously, drones are not new, but
I do as well.
The drones are doing surveys, but they're writing the reports before they've even landed, summarising what they've found.
Yeah,
which normally you'd send that to a building surveyor. The actual drone is doing it and sending it off to you.
But how crazy is that?
Yeah, but how much do you trust that information? That drone's interpreted.
Now that's a very. I do agree. I agree with that. That's a very valid point.
Where's that detail pulling from? Is it pulling from the web or where? There's lots of, like you said, we don't understand a lot of it. We don't understand the use cases. Yeah. But if it's going to mean that someone doesn't have to get up to that roof, doesn't have to do something, then there's a great use case for AI. But, for the sake of someone on reception.
So you don't see it. So you don't see it either. If there's autonomous robots with AGI built into them, which means that they've got their own. I know I'm banging on about it. I just want
us to agree with you.
I do. I'm fighting me God.
If 5 years time and we're all sitting outside and there's 4 robots in here having a chat, then
we'll say you're all right.
Yeah, and we're at home. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just on virtual reality.
We're watching we're watching it on the internet while it's happening, and we're not in it.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, is nobody actually knows what AI is, and it's like I should know because this is my generation.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone's like, oh, AI's coming. It's like, but what does that mean? Like AI, you need to understand AI. You need to know what AI is and how to use it. Everyone keeps talking about it. It's like it's a big buzzword, which it is. But how do I use it to make my job easier? Rather than how does it replace my job? And there's such a stigma about. I literally wrote a university report about it actually, about AI is going to replace people's jobs. It shouldn't be there to replace people's jobs. It should be there to make people's jobs easier. Use it as a platform to make it more efficient.
A lot of people don't get it. ChatGPT. If you write something in ChatGPT and you don't know you're not in the FM industry and you asked it to write something.
It pulls things.
It just pulls anything. You still need the knowledge.
It's like a very enhanced version of Google, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where it can ascertain. But what I have seen, and an observation that I've seen in my career, 10, 15 years ago, we were talking about AI. We were talking about it within web-based portals and things like that, and we've got AI, data-driven analytics, and it wasn't. What I've seen in the last 12 months is a significant change from what we called AI 2, 3, 4 years ago to what that is now. Now that is a quantum leap. And if you've worked with these portals, you will agree that is a quantum leap in terms of what the functionality and capability is. What I'm kind of thinking is, like, what's the next quantum leap, and how quickly will that quantum? Because from point A 10 years ago, web portals with AI and data, to what it is now, that's huge. You will agree with that.
Yeah.
So similar timescale. Like, what does that look like?
Scary.
You know? I think it's exciting.
I don't.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, I do.
Because
we could have robot boxing.
No, because I just think it's just like...
Two Lindas.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When you said Linda, I thought you were referring to Linda, the CEO of IWFM. I was come on, Linda.
No, I think it's limitless opportunities.
I find it very, very intimidating, very scary. I just think that how fast it can change, and human beings are built on connection and relationship, and
that's true.
Speaking to people face to face. And me and my mum were talking about this the other day, actually, about when I was in school, and I won't harp on about it, but when I was in school, I was in the whole GCSE year when we got all our predicted results and we couldn't see our mates for a year, and we're social beings, and then to have that completely stripped away from you, it's like my generation now, it's like they're very outgoing and confident, or they just don't speak to you. It's one or the other, and it's how bad is that COVID has done that, and then you build AI into that as well. And I think what will happen is the USP in terms of business will be, okay, every man and their dog's now got AI. The people that don't have AI will be the USP selling points, where it's we've got cleaners on site and they're very friendly and and it's like they're going to be the people that are winning the contracts, because people don't want to see bots and be like, morning Jen, you're right on the help desk. It's like, no, she's typing away on a laptop because she's an AI bot.
That's the new slogan, people buy from people.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, not bots.
Yeah, exactly. And that's I think AI is too scary.
It's an interesting conversation though, isn't it? It is.
Scary.
Yeah.
Your professional role relies upon you being a person though.
No, I know.
Could you ever see your role being replaced by Linda?
I think my role... No, I think mine's probably slightly. It's going to be weird. I don't know.
Special role. Nobody.
No, I don't think it's got a special role. I think that you could, in terms of my duties. Yeah, writing bids, tenders. Yeah, all day long. In terms of the ability to stand up and create a connection with an individual and then sell a level of service to that individual. No, I don't think that element of my role could be taken away. But then I don't think it could with yours, because the communication associated with what you guys do is essential. But there are certain roles, for example, where I see robots taking over. So if you look at vertical services, for example, I can see robots that are in human form hanging off skyscrapers and cleaning the windows, because it's far safer to get someone like that doing it than a window cleaner, for example. Working on the railways, you work in rail, far safer to get a robot to do that rather than a human being. There's going to be a seismic shift which will impact our industry, because there'll be different facets of it where we think, do we really want to risk John's life with him hanging off the gherkin? We don't need that. From a health and safety perspective, we could do X. So I actually think any change across our industry will actually be driven from a health and safety perspective in the initial periods. I don't know if you guys agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm just 5-10 years in the future. That's where I kind of see it. And I don't think it would be. So you've got different types of roles, because you've got task orientated roles, for example, where you come in and you do your 80 tasks in an 8-hour period, and as long as those tasks are done, you get to go home. You could perhaps see those kind of roles being impacted by it as well. But I think where there's roles where you have to communicate, you have to deal with people on a regular basis, you've got to be able to negotiate, you've got to go back and forth with dealing with different problems. That's where it becomes more of a challenge. But I just think that in the next 5-10 years, we're going to see massive change.
I think that's where the difference is here, though. Yeah. So we're talking about would this happen in FM? Yeah, I absolutely totally agree. cleaning robots, doing windows, doing drone surveys, those kind of things are absolutely going to happen. What I don't see is that those people services elements of our industry are going to get replaced by robots that look like people, because I think that they aren't task-related roles. They are people roles, and they have to be dynamic, and they have to be able to go, oh, it's Linda. Oh, it was your birthday yesterday. How was your birthday?
Yeah.
Linda seems to be coming up, by the way. Sorry for any Lindas.
That's all right. I was going to have a donut.
I was going to ask, if you're a robot, what would you be called?
Dave.
Oh, of course.
No, Gary. Gary's going out. The name Gary is going out of. It's slowly dying, apparently. I read somewhere. Yeah.
And then if we have robots, we don't need HR either. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that's one I could sign up for.
Robots hopefully won't fight with each other.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah. I just think it's a really interesting thing. I think the next 5-10 years are going to be.
I think if you ask that on every podcast, I think you'd get completely different answers, and it'd be one of those really interesting things to see kind of the demographic interests in that as well.
Well, I used to be. It's going to be a tool. And I mean, a year ago, my view was it's going to be a tool. It's going to be used as a tool to help people do their jobs. But just looking at it, like my view on it has completely changed in a very short period of time.
But I think it will be a tool. So you talked. I asked you, would Linda replace your job? I don't think she would.
No.
I think because you rely on that person element. What she'll probably do is take all those menial tasks that you have to spend not doing the bit that creates business, creates all the good things you can do and you're very good at, which is talking and building relationships.
Podcast hosting.
That's a shot back. But Linda will take all the bits around reports and building bids and all that kind of type stuff, so you can go out and talk to more and more people.
Yeah.
But I think that can be something to be cautious of, though. It's like my generation.
Perishable skills.
Yeah. It's like nowadays, it's like you put something in ChatGPT, say write me this email. It's like you can't think for yourself anymore. And I think
that's true.
You know, my generation's growing up with that now. Where it's like, oh, I can't be bothered writing this report. Get ChatGPT to do it. You see it on my uni course all the time. It's like I'm working away 100 hours on a report, and it's like distinction, and then a guy who sat there and put the whole thing into ChatGPT gets a distinction as well.
Can they still not? Is there not ways in which like teachers and they can find out?
Plagiarism, it's
lads in the background.
It's very hit and miss. I mean, you have to have
things like I use it every day.
And you have to have pretty advanced software to be able to detect when it's been used, because you can basically use it and rewrite it, and then they can't really detect it. But it's like skills like that people just won't use their brain anymore, and it's just emotional intelligence.
You don't need to spell.
The emotional intelligence skills would decrease as well, and it's like that's the foundations of leadership, isn't it? Really,
this is true. That's fair play. Well, good, very good
observation.
Good point. Well observed.
Thanks, guys.
Well spoken about. Okay, well, guys, that kinda, I think, brings us to the end of the first episode of the Facilities Management Exchange. Have you enjoyed it?
It's been a pleasure.
It's been emotional.
Can I come back next week?
You can be a regular contributor.
Thanks, guys.
If you want to.
Thank you.
Without a doubt. But listen, I'd like to thank you all for firstly supporting the podcast. That's really important, and for also coming on and giving such honest viewpoints on the industry. Clearly, we only touched on a very small snippet of it. There was so much more to talk about, and we will talk about that in due course, I'm sure. You'd all be keen to come back for another episode one day?
100%.
Absolutely, yeah.
100%.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's the end of episode 1. As ever,
Cool.
if you can't be good, be bad. See you later.